They're late, Cleo.
They normally come on Thursdays, don't they?
Perhaps they've forgotten.
I hope not. No offence, Glaucone. I mean, I enjoy your company, but, well, after 2,500 years, one begins to feel like a change.
Run out of conversation if you're not careful.
What's that? That sounds promising. Yes, there they are. Thought you two weren't coming.
Well, we're here now, and today's topic is everyday life.
Everyday life. So, what do you want to know about? Clothes, games, food, school?
Well, can we start at the beginning of the day? You know, getting up, getting dressed. I mean, what sort of clothes did you wear?
Well, not like yours, that's pretty clear.
And for further information...
We suggest you consult
Athena.
These are modern Greek children. They're also doing a project on ancient Greece, and some of them are finding out about Greek costume. They're using simple sheets of cloth, just as we used to do. The tricky bit is folding the cloth and fastening it in the right places. Having got their costumes sorted out, they're trying out ancient Greek toys and games. Spinning tops have always been popular, and this is the sort that we used to have. The challenge is getting them to stay up. Then there's dolls, of course. Another favourite in my day, and I don't suppose times have changed that much. I used to have a doll just like that, little jointed arms and legs. And knucklebones. That was another good game. The knucklebone was a sort of four-sided dice made from an animal's bone. Each side was slightly different in shape and worth different points. The one who threw the lowest was given a forfeit. He had to do whatever the others told him to do, like hopping from one end of the road to the other. But it's not all fun and games in this project, and the other children have been getting down to classroom work, ancient Greek style. These children are writing about Greece and ancient Athens.
Funny sort of writing.
What's funny about it? Same letters as I used at school?
Perfectly normal alphabet.
Yes. Good enough in our day, and good enough for today's Greeks.
They've also got some copies of ancient Greek musical instruments. We Greeks thought music was very important, and the children have been trying the instruments out.
Ancient Greek pipes.
Some of them are wind instruments,
Ancient Greek tambourine.
and some of them are percussion.
Ancient Greek castanets.
And this is one of the favorite Greek instruments, the lyre.
Ancient Greek castanet.
The tighter the strings are tuned, the higher the note. And the tortoise shell in the middle, oh yes, they really did use tortoise shells, makes it sound louder. The sound of ancient Greece. Well, not quite.
We also used to study Greek myths. And that's what these children have been doing. They've been learning about Herakles and doing research for the frieze that they're putting up on the wall. They're doing one picture for each labour. It's only half done so far, because like you, they're only halfway through the story. Yes, it's time for another episode.
For 7 burning years, Herakles had served his cousin Eurystheus. The lion of Nemea, dead. The golden deer, captured. Hydra, the water monster, hacked to death. He had carried home the wild boar of Erymanthus and got rid of the Stymphalian birds. He had mucked out the Augean stables in a single day. So now 5 years remained, and Eurystheus was determined to make it hard for Herakles. North, south, east, west, he would make him travel to the 4 corners of the world. First, he ordered him to sail south, to capture the great white bull of Crete. The bull had terrorized the whole of the island, trampling fields of barley flat and goring the islanders with his terrible horns. But Herakles was a match for him. He crept up behind the bull while he was trumpeting at the silver moon and snared him with a lasso. Next, Herakles was sent north to the kingdom of Thrace. There, his task was to bring back the 4 mares of Diomedes. They were bloodthirsty beasts that fed on the flesh of humans, but Herakles was too strong for them. He harnessed them to his chariot and drove back in triumph over the mountains. You have done well, Herakles. Now, show us you've got wits as well as strength. How about a trip to the east, to the land of the Amazons? Bring me back the golden girdle of Hippolyta. I want to give it to little Admete. Do you remember how fathers like to please their daughters? I'm sure you do. And Herakles remembered, but said nothing. The Amazons lived on the shores of the Black Sea. They were warrior women. They fought battles. They governed. It was the men who cooked the meals and washed the pots and carried the water. In her palace, Hippolyta looked long and hard at Herakles. She marveled at his height, the strength of his arms, his flashing eyes. She offered Herakles her girdle as a love gift. But Hera, his sworn enemy, was soon to put a stop to all that. The goddess had disguised herself as an Amazon, and now she went up to the Amazon leaders.
Beware of these Greeks. They're going to kidnap your queen. Beware of them, fellow Amazons. Once Herakles has lured her aboard his ship, you'll never see her again.
So the warrior women galloped down to the harbor and charged at the boat. Kill the kidnappers, they shouted. Destroy the Greeks. Herakles' companions hid wherever they could. Only Herakles stood firm and clubbed the Amazons to the ground one by one. As she watched, Hippolyta's love turned to anger and despair. She cried out. She offered Herakles her girdle, her golden girdle, no longer as a love gift, but to stop him killing, to get him to sail away. And Herakles took the girdle. But there was aching in his heart as he sailed back to Greece. So, Herakles, 2 more years. This time your course lies westward. Go and get Gerion's herd of chestnut cattle from their island home. Without asking, without paying, I want them for free. Gerion was a giant with 3 bodies joined at the waist. His trunk was thick and twisted as a grey Aleppo pine. 3 heads, 6 hands, 6 feet. He was the strongest being in the world, and fierce. As soon as he saw Herakles, he came running down to the beach to tear him to pieces. Herakles could see that this was no time for a wrestling match. He drew his bow and let fly with 3 poisoned arrows, an arrow for each of the throats. The Hydra's poison was deadly. So now, Herakles was able to drive the chestnut cattle back to Greece. It was to take many months, but at last he arrived at Tiryns, well satisfied that he had completed the 10th and final labor. It is over, Eurystheus. I've served you for 12 years. My time is up.
Ah, that's where you're wrong, Herakles. You've cheated me.
Cheated?
Your nephew helped you when you killed the Hydra. You couldn't manage it on your own. As for King Augeas, you didn't do that labor in my name. You made a bet for your own profit. Augeas paid you to muck out the stables. Yes, Herakles. You must perform 2 more labors before I set you free. They'll bruise your bones. They'll break your back. Believe me, they'll be the hardest labors of all.